1, 2, 3.
My baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and this I know for sure.
Hey guys, first of all, I want to give a very, very warm thank you to the ladies from Chapter Chicks. Sorry, I'm just checking my volume. And thank you very much for giving me a shout out. I very much appreciate it. And I'm here to do the Bookalicious tag, I believe. I'm gonna have to go back and find all the links again, but they'll be in the panties and the bottom thing. Doobly doobly. So, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I think, in 2 parts because just in case it doesn't load properly, my computer's being a bit of a tart at the moment. So I've got my questions here and some of the books here. I'm not going to show you all the books because you guys, if you've seen my bookshelf, not going to go there. I just fixed it up just now. So, okay, I'm going to get started. What percentage of books do you get from the library and what percentage do you get elsewhere? I'm a sucker for going to libraries, but really when I get the books, I hardly ever read them. I usually look at them, read the backs. If I like them, I'll purchase them online or anywhere else I can find them. I get my books everywhere, online, in the shops. Yeah. I really do get books from the library. I sometimes do if I'm interested in a topic or if I want to see if they have anything, but my library is about a shelf of YA, like literally like a shelf or two, and it's not very sufficient. So, and I really haven't dug deep into the adult section either, so I've got too many books of my own. So that's that question. What character would you want to be and why? I hate answering these questions because I can always remember books that I read, but I read so much that I get lost in different characters. But if I had to be a character, I think I'd be Rose Hathaway from Vampire Academy, because I just think that she reminds me a lot of myself as a younger teen, I guess, full of anger, except, well, not anger, but I wanted to protect everyone that I loved very dearly, and I did everything I could to do it. Sometimes I had rage fits, and now looking back as an adult, yeah, but I really love her character, and it's kind of a cross between that and Skylar out of Blue Bloods, but these are not set in stone, I don't think. Mine are constantly changing depending on what books I've read. But that's just my answer so far. What is your favourite book from your childhood? Definitely Anne Frank. And this has to go down towards another question as well, but favourite book from my childhood would definitely be Anne Frank, because it's pretty much the only one I can actually remember apart from Arthur the Seeing Stone, which I read as a child too. So this would be my second favourite that I can recall, really. But yeah, the first would have to be Anne Frank, because I just love Anne Frank. Enough said. What is your favourite type of book? Sorry, what is your favourite book, rather? I don't do favourites, just like children. I really can't. Sometimes I really like that book, and other times I think, well, this book's a lot better than this one. So I really don't have a specific favourite. I really wish I did, because it makes these kinds of questions a lot easier, but I don't like dulling. I don't like picking, because I have too many to pick through, and I can't think of one off the top of my head that is definitely my favourite book. So, sorry. Which book series do you have the most books of? Blue Bloods by Melissa De La Cruz. Sorry, I've got to drink some water. I'm very dehydrated. Choice series, absolutely choice. It's pretty much the only series I'm up to date with in my books. I eat those up like fat cake, whatever fat cake is, but I eat those up, and some of them are really like meh, but Misguided Angel was brilliant, and I'm so looking forward to the new one coming out soon. Apart from that, I think I'm pretty much up to date with Hush Hush, and that's about it. Pretty much. Do you buy used books or use swap.com? Don't know what swap.com really is. I do buy used books. I buy bargain books. I buy books. I really don't care where I source them from as long as they're cheap. Sometimes I will go on a really cheap buy and I won't buy anything unless it's cheap. Sometimes I will buy used books instead of buying proper books, like brand new books, and other times I will just go out and I'll buy it anyway because I can and because I like buying books. Who is your favorite hottest guy or girl? This was a hard one for me because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really don't find men attractive. Sorry, I do find my partner attractive, of course, and he is a man. But when it comes to books, I'm not one of those people who swoon over people that much. Though I must admit, there are two guys that I have swooned over before, and that's Dimitri out of Vampire Academy and Saint Etienne, Saint Clair. I think I just repeated that. But Anna's main squeeze, as we say. So they're kind of attractive, but I really don't get turned on, I guess, by I don't know, buff guys or anything like that. I don't know. They don't really write about like weight, like heavy set guys, which is kind of my type, I guess. But anyway, what is the most attractive girl or hottest female? That would be a cross between Aslan, Nora Grey, and Rose. I don't know why in my mind they are just smoking for different reasons. Rose, obviously, because she kicks ass and she's got long hair and she looks like Angelina Jolie. Aslan, because I just picture her as a tomboy and I'm very attracted to tomboys. And Nora Grey, because she's, I guess, because she's Patch's squeeze. She just sounds attractive in my head. I don't know why. When I read about her. What is your favourite book cover? I was so unprepared for that. I have a cover, but I don't have it at the moment. Or do I? I'm going to leave that question to the next video. That's one. What is your favourite type of book cover? I like book covers I can eat. So if it's got bright colours or has fruit on it or is very earthy kind of or colourful, like eccentric, I guess you can say. I like books with fruit on it though because it makes me want to eat the book as well. I tend to go towards those kind of books. Also, I go towards stunning covers. There's just so many books out there that I could choose which covers I like, and yeah, it makes my head explode. What is the first book you read? Again, I think the first book I can remember reading is Anne Frank. Otherwise, the first book I remember reading was like Spot and Noddy, but obviously I don't have those. But yeah, my childhood is suppressed, so I can't remember a great deal of it. What is your favourite book to movie adaptation? I couldn't really think of any. Like, I didn't want to go through my list of movies that I've watched, and I couldn't think of anything except Matilda, because I love that movie and I watch it nearly every fortnight because it's just awesome. What's there not to love about a small child who likes to read? Because it reaches into my heart and reminds me of how much I like to read. Usually when I watch the first like 30 minutes of Matilda, I end up crying because I realize that, you know, this is the inside of me, this is a part of me that is always going to be there. And I wish that I had the time to read all day long. And I wish I had her mentality to read every day, all day, every day. So, you know, she's like a part of me, which is cool, I guess, in a way. When did you start making YouTube videos or videos on YouTube? I believe it was June last year. Don't hold me against it or to it or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it was June. Yeah, and I think I pretty much started my blog that time too. Don't look back. I love it. I love it so much. So I think I celebrated my year anniversary like in June. It's cool. It's cool. Where is the best place to read? My bed. I don't care if it's wrong. It feels so right, and there's nothing anyone could. No one could take my bed away from me. Mm-mm. You can't take that kind of pleasure away, because I've tried to read on buses. I've tried to read outside, in the kitchen, on the toilet, in the shower, on the front lawn, in a library, in McDonald's, on a chair, on the roof, on top of a car. You name it, I've tried it, and the only place I love is my bed, because let's face it, when I am in bed, it's nice and comfortable. The only thing is, much like everyone else, well, not everyone else, I should say, but I fall asleep after a couple of pages because it's just too comfortable. Unless it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and I've just woken up, I can read for hours. So, have you ever written your own fan fiction for a book? You know what? Yeah, I have, and I don't care too much, but I wrote Twilight fan fiction. Yes, I know groans, but it was entertaining. I haven't written any other book fan fiction. I've considered doing like a sort of Wicked Lovely twist thing, but never got around to it. Don't think I will. If you could only read 3 books for the rest of your life, what would they be? I did prepare for this. These are just the first things that came to my head, or in my drawer as well. It would be Frankie Says Relapse, because I can never get rid of this book, and I have read it over and over and over again, and I could read it again too. Joanne Harris's Blue-Eyed Boy. I could read this again, and I really want to read it again, but I will in a couple of years' time. But I could never get rid of this book either. It is just brilliant. An adult book, a thriller. It made me cold. So cold. It had such a freaking fantastic twist that I was just shaking. I was like, oh my fucking god, what the fuck? Okay. And lastly, would be my staple, I guess, would be Writing Down the Bones, Freeing the Writer Within. I could read this over and over and over and over again and still be so inspired that I would have to take a piece of pen and paper with me everywhere, and I could read it. Like, I could read this book just a million times and still find something out of it that I can take from it. Those are the ones that came to mind. Whew, getting through some of these. I think I'll answer one more question. Actually, I'll answer 2. What is the longest book you have read? Lord of the Rings, the first book. I can't remember. I think it's called Fellowship of the Rings. That's how bad I am with these books. Longest book took me a year to read. I don't know why, but just did. It was just in primary school, not primary school, high school. I was a big reader back then, but that was just, the print was so small that it took me a year to read. And lastly, number 17, if you were to write a book, what would the title be and why? I actually do write, and I have written a few, I should say a few, I've written about 3 novels, and I'm working on a couple now, and have been over the past couple of years. I don't really want to say too much. I know it sounds stupid, but it's my baby, and I haven't really released it into the whole wide world yet. But I will tell you that one of the novels that I'm working on is called Stop a Bullet, and that came to me through a song, and I pretty much planned the whole novel through that song, and it's going steady. It's pretty good. I really love it. I love the story. I love the characters. So, have I got time for one more question? Actually, yes, I do. How many books did you read last month? 9. I think it was one of the most books I've read in a while. I can average maybe 2 to 9 books a month. Sometimes I can read more, sometimes I can read less. So thank you guys for watching, and I will get to the other questions soon. So thank you guys. Bye.